Today on Aframewoodworking, I'm going to show you a shop tip and how to use a bamboo skewer that you can find in your grocery store to both add a decorative detail and to also strengthen common joinery in your next woodworking project. So come on over to the bench and let's get started. I'm working on the prototype for another piece in my White Barn Lane collection. You can find that on Aframewoodworking.com. We're working on the coffee table build, and like some of my other pieces in that, we have mortise and tenon joinery. And this is a much bigger coffee table, and this particular piece is made out of pine for my prototype. So what I'm going to do is show you how to take the bamboo skewers to help reinforce this mortise and tenon, and to also add a little decorative detail to this. In the pine, it won't stand out as much as it would in walnut or mahogany. But essentially what we're going to do is help pin this piece inside our leg joinery. So here are my sample pieces. This is a sample of what the mortise might look like inside of my table leg. Of course, it wouldn't be this long, it would be smaller, but for illustration purposes, this will allow you to see inside that joint. This piece would act as the tenon. So when we join these pieces together, of course, we glued those together and slid that into place, creating a very strong joint. What we're going to do is we're going to add a pin using the bamboo skewers. I've placed 2 inside of my table legs to really help reinforce that joint. The first step before you glue everything together in your leg is you need to pre-drill the hole. And the way that I have done these, I have drilled through the outside face of my leg so you'll be able to see the hole. And then inside, I've stopped the hole about halfway through my leg. Now you could drill the entire way through, but I stopped mine inside so that kind of anchors that piece into position. Now I did not drill into the tenon piece. So what we're going to do is have this pre-drilled. I will slide my tenon into place. Once that's all glued and assembled, I come back with my drill. The nice thing about the bamboo skewers, they're 1/8 of an inch. And they add a nice detail and they're really strong. And we're just going to drill that down through so that it goes through the tenon piece. With the bamboo skewers, to make it easier to insert them into the project, I simply taper one end. You can also cut them to fit. We're going to come back and clean these up, so I'm going to cut mine a little bit bigger. And now essentially you have a pin. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on about the first third of the skewer. You're going to have to come back and clean the glue out and sand it down. Place the pin into the hole with a mallet or a hammer. You will be able to, if you drilled into the back of the joint, you'll be able to hear a solid thud when this seats itself back in, so you know where to stop. There's definitely a distinct sound once you do a couple of these. Kind of has that pingy, echoey sound, and then it has a more distinct thud once it's seated. Now what I do is I'm going to let that set up, and then I'll come back with my flush cut saw and clean up that pin. But that just adds a lot of strength to this joint. Plus, when you clean this up, it gives you a nice accent or a nice detail on the outside of your piece. This is really helpful for mortise and tenons, for legs. You can use it on doors and drawers, outside of boxes. The bamboo skewers come in handy, and it's a really inexpensive way to add a lot of strength to your project. So let's take a look at how we put the pins into the White Barn Lane coffee table. And there you have it. We're going to go around and do the rest of the legs and finish up this prototype in the White Barn Lane collection. Be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. If you have any questions about this, feel free to shoot us an email. Check us out online, www.aframewoodworking.com. Hope this little shop tip or trick helped you. Give it a try in your next project. That's all for now. See you in the next video.